Jai Hind everyone, welcome to the Nimbus Defence Academy. Today we are going to understand the brief structure of SSB, that what happens in those 5 days of SSB. So we are going to start with the analyzing of a days. On the day 1, we have a reporting and screening test. On day 2, we have a psychological test and interview. On day 3 and 4, we have a group testing. And then on day 5, we have a conference day, also known as a result day, when you will got to know that you gets recommend or not. And further days are for medicals. Now let us understand about the stage itself. Stage 1 testing and stage 2 testing. Basically, SSB is divided into 2 stages, and we have also included a third stage, that is our medicals. So stage 1 testing is about the screening test. Screening test includes 2 tests, that is OIR and PPDT. Stage 2 testing includes, after screening, that is psychological testing, interview, group testing and conference. And then stage 3 is all about your medicals. So let us go deeply. So friends, the first day, that is your reporting day, on which you are going to report to your respective centers, which will be allotted to you on the dates which are chosen by you only. So on the reporting day, you are going to have your screening test, which is Officers Intelligence Rating Test and Picture Perception and Discussion Test. Officers Intelligence Test is basically a test of your reasoning. You will be given 2 tests. That is, first is verbal reasoning, second of non-verbal reasoning. And then you have to do those tests in particular time period. The only task about the whole SSB is the time. So OIR, for example, you are going to get 50 questions in your first set. For the 50 questions, you are going to get 18 minutes only. That is the thing which you have to do in OIR. And then you will be assessed on the basis of your ratings. For example, you will be given 100 questions and you have to score 91 to 100 if you want to fall into the rating of outstanding, that is Officers Intelligence Rating number 1. And after that, we are going to proceed to the second test, that is Picture Perception and Discussion Test. These are some of the examples of your Officers Intelligence Rating test. For example, write the second letter of a rearranged word. That was a good place to MEEEBRR. What it can be? That was a good place to remember. So the answer to the question will be E, because the second letter of remember is E. That is how you have to do your OIR testing. And then Picture Perception and Discussion Test. In Picture Perception Discussion Test, you will be shown a black and white picture for 30 seconds. And the black and white picture will be on a screen itself. And it will be there in front of you all for 30 seconds. For example, something like this. A picture like this will be shown to you for 30 seconds. And after that, you will be given a sheet like this. A sheet which will be consisting of observation box, action and story. In the observation box, we have to fill what we have observed and the action and the story. For filling the observation box and action, we are going to get 1 minute. And to write a story, we are going to get 4 minutes. So, for the whole PPDT writing, we are getting 5 minutes in total. So, this is the whole process of picture perception. Now, talking about the discussion test. You will be individually called, not individually, you will be called in a group. In a group, you will be called as per your chest numbers. You will be going in a group, and then as per your chest numbers, you will be sitting in front of the assessors. There will be assessors in front of you and you will be sitting in front of them in a semicircle. And in a semicircle, you will narrate your individual stories, what you have written here, including observation box, action and story. You will narrate it within the time span of 1 minute. And after that, they will give you roughly 5 to 7 minutes to have a group discussion. You will have a group discussion among yourselves only, to bring the objective of that group discussion, that is to come on a common group story. So the group story comes about the amalgamating all the ideas of everyone, and then we come on a common group story, and one of you stands and you unanimously nominate that one person, and the person will give the common story of the group. Now proceeding to the stage 2. Let's imagine all of us gets screened in, and now we are going to the stage 2 testing. Stage 2 testing consists these 4 things. First, psychological testing, then interview, then group testing and conference. So talking about the first test of your stage 2, psychological test. Psychological test is the first test. Usually if you are going for the army entry, psychological test will take place on the another day of your screening. For example, you got screening on the day 1, psychological test will take place on day 2. But if you are going for your AFSBs, that is for Airforce entry, usually in that Psychological test takes place on the same day of your screening in the evening. So in the psychological test, there will be basically 4 tests. Thematic or perception test, word association test, situation reaction test, and self-description test. We can learn about all of them thoroughly in our further classes. Then we have the second assessment of our SSB, that is personal interview. Personal interview is all about your life. After getting screening, you fill a form that is known as PIQ form. In those PIQ form, you fill all of your details. Basically, the interviews can be revolving around your PIQ form, about your personal life, your hobbies, your interests, and everything what you pursue. And it can be on current affairs or international relations, depending upon the assessor and you also. After the personal interview, usually personal interview takes place for like 30 to 40 minutes, can exceed to 1 hour also. After that, we have our GTO, that is group testing. In group testing, we have 9 tasks. I've tried to arrange them into the sequence, and later is depend upon the assessor that what sequence he wants to follow. Then when the lecture or individual obstacle takes place, rest are the same. So the GTO consists of 9 tasks, that is group discussion, group planning exercise, PGT, that is progressive group task, GOR, that is group obstacle race, also known as snake race. Then half group task, lecturate, individual obstacles, command tasks, and final group tasks. These are the 9 tasks. They are divided into 2 days. Usually on the day 1, we take the GD, GP, PGT, GOR, lecturate, and HGT takes place. And on the day 2, individual obstacles, command tasks, and final group task takes place. And that depends upon the assessor that he wants to have a lecture on day 2 or lecturate on day 1 itself. So they are the basic tasks. We can be ready for these tasks from our home only. We prepare finally. These are some of the examples of the available material or the available ground at Nimbus. These are the pictures of our own students who have practiced in the Nimbus itself. These are all the individual obstacles which are available to you, which you can practice as many times as you want in the Nimbus Defence Academy. After that, we are going to proceed with the conference day. On the conference day, you will be in your best bearing because you have to present yourself in front of all the assessors. Just like this, all the assessors will be sitting in front of you. There will be 3 GTOs, psychological assessors. There will be 3 GTOs sitting over there. There will be interviewing officers sitting over there. Usually the person who is sitting in front of you is the president of your respective boards, and then there will be a deputy president and an interviewing officer also. There will be one senior psychologist available, there will be one senior GTO available, and that is how you will be called in a numerical manner as your chest numbers only. And then as per your chest numbers, you will be called, you will be sitting in front of them here. You will be sitting. If they want to ask you any questions and want to clarify anything, they can. And if they don't want to ask you anything, usually they ask questions like, how was the stay? Were you comfortable? Were the things were good? Or any changes you want to make? Or any suggestions you have with regard to the board. That is all your choice and the choice of the assessors what they are going to ask you. After that, you will be called in a hall. And the hall, all of you will be sitting. The whole group of you who got screened in at that day of your reporting, you will be sitting all together. Officer will come along with a register and announce that you get recommend or not. He will announce your name and the chest numbers and sometime your roll number itself. And then after your recommendation, you get recommend, you get this plus sign, and this plus sign is a significance that now you proceed to your medicals. And then we proceed to our medicals. After getting medically fit, we wait for our merit list. The merit list that you get merit as per the vacancies available to your particular entry, and then we get a joining letter once we get merit in, and then we join our respective academies. There's one example of Officers Training Academy. You join your respective academies after getting recommend, after getting medically fit, after getting merit in, and then you achieve the dream life which you always wanted. So these are some of the information available. Thank you so much everyone for watching us. Thank you. Jai Hind.